guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, 2 guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. This is the O-Line Committee.
This might be Alex's last ever show on the O-Line Committee.
Jesus Christ, asshole. You know I'm already nervous.
Gosh,
Dude, I think
my kids
I
again
think
with
you're
this
gonna be
bell.
I think you're going to be fine.
I hope so.
Oh, they
dude.
hid your bell?
That's a ding for not finding your belt. Listen, being
Up.
unprepared.
Got it.
That's a
We're
false
good.
bell, too. Hit
We
him,
got
Mackey.
it. We got it. Shut up. You weren't even here last week. I don't want to hear it.
Oh, let me tell you about Cooperstown.
No one wants to hear about Cooperstown.
Yes, you do.
Cooperstown's great, man. Cooperstown.
Dude.
To spend a weekend?
It's amazing.
aggressive.
Dude, it was so amazing. It was baseball all day. It was so much fun. Some of these kids were fucking crushing the ball. And I mean, one kid hit it from one ballpark to the other. I was like, oh my God. The week before we got there, a kid broke Bryce Harper's record. He hit 18 home runs in 1 week. 18
What?
home. And I'm talking dudes are throwing fucking legit gas. 65, 70. You're like,
How old are these kids? Like 13?
12.
8.
Dude,
12?
here's the problem. The kids that are playing perfect game at that age are throwing like 80, 85. Technically, Chris Cabrera, who's Miguel Cabrera's son, is like the number 1 kid at the age of 12. He throws like 80, 85. He's fucking unreal. Dude.
So he's going to have
So
Tommy
fun.
John surgery
Dude,
when he's 17 years old.
For sure he is.
Yeah,
like, they should not be
100%.
throwing that fast this early, but dude, who cares? Because my God, when you see one connect with a bat, it fucking, you're like, holy shit. And it's great because it's only 200-foot fence, so everybody gets a home run out of there. But like, you got to time it up really well, and it was a lot of fun, dude. The weather was great. You look in the background, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me a lot of Le Sueur. So it was like greenery everywhere, mountains, big. You're in a valley. I'm like, dude, are we sure we're in New York? Are we sure this is?
It's a
NY?
different
You
world.
weren't
man.
in New
Yeah.
York. You
No.
were in western
fucking-
middle
dude,
New York.
I'm like, are we in West Virginia? Are you sure this isn't West Virginia?
Yeah.
They're like, dude, this. And they kind of have a little like, nah, man, this is New York. I'm like,
Did you
listen.
go through the Hall of Fame exhibit? I'm
Oh
assuming?
yeah,
Did you,
it was incredible.
did you see Babe Ruth's bat from?
Yes. Are you serious?
His
here's
bat
what
from like the early
it's
30s. It's the
huge.
size of a telephone pole.
fucking huge. So when they were talking about it, I was listening to a guy talk about it. He's like, I forget who it was. It was somebody now was trying to teach us how to swing Babe Ruth's bat. And he like takes a swing. He's like, okay, you're not going to do that. Holy shit. It was like, it's a 40-ounce bat. And so then they show the Babe talking about it. And he's like, not everyone's going to get a real cut in. And you see him take one. You're like, that dude's huge. And he's like, all you got to really do is poke it. And he like pokes a ball and it fucking flies. And you're like,
Yeah. So
that
Babe
bat
Ruth-
is like, it's a club. Dude, it's a fucking club.
Here's my first hot take. We've got hot takes. We're going to get to
hot
hot
takes out the ass.
Is
Welcome
this a hot
back,
take?
motherfuckers.
Is this a hot take? Babe Ruth, most overrated athlete in American
Fuck
history.
yourself right now.
He's
Dude,
using an
don't, dude.
illegal
I'm with
bat.
you.
No,
with you.
to
I'm with
swing
you.
that bat. No, you think that, but then the handle was this, dude. It was like I was looking at it like, how the fuck do you grab that thing? They're like, dude, he was different, man. Like he gave it a rip.
You
And
give
then he
Bryce
showed-
Harper that bat. How many home runs is he hitting?
And not to mention,
probably
Babe Ruth,
800.
Babe Ruth,
But dude,
never
at the same
faced-
time, look how far we've advanced.
What
dude.
you
Like,
just
that's
said,
not even fair.
those kids at Cooperstown were throwing faster than the guys
Oh,
in the MLB
it's
at
ridiculous.
Babe Ruth's time.
But we
So
can't
yes,
blame
I'm
Babe
with
for that.
You, Mac.
We can't
I'm
sit there.
100% with you. Like I'm 100% with you. One of the most overrated athletes.
Are
of all
you
time.
Thank you, dude.
serious?
Yeah. Boone, let me finish. So, illegal bat, never faced a Dominican, Venezuelan, or Puerto Rican or black pitcher
All
in his
white,
career.
all whiteys.
Who
And
could
Whitey,
he
it's-
couldn't
it's-
control
it's
that?
Whitey Phillips winding up now. Here, throws the fastball.
Hey, I'm not saying that's not an issue. I'm just saying it wasn't his fault. He wasn't like, hey, listen, this is how this is gonna be. He was just like, throw what you fucking got, and I'm gonna hit the shit out
But
of
the
it.
facts
like,
are
at
the
same
facts.
time,
He's
They're
overrated.
throwing like
too.
72-mile-an-hour fastballs.
then you're
man.
discrediting a ton of great players back then, and it's like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I don't know if I'm gonna go back
am.
that. I'm not.
I am.
I'm not gonna talk shit about Ty Cobb. He'd probably kick the shit
dude,
out of me. Okay.
It's the
Yeah,
only
he'd fuck
sport
you
though where
up.
we glorify these players from the 19. Can you imagine in the NFL if you put like an offensive lineman from 1951 in today's league, they would be 190
the
pounds.
point,
and
is,
How
like,
about
you're
you
not
dropped,
supposed
you dropped,
to.
you
That's the
dropped
whole
Justin,
point.
Justin Jefferson in like
Oh,
1940s,
right?
just like.
But that's the thing is you
go
can't
play
do
there.
that. And if you ever did, you'd be like, well, that's the most unfair thing. Like you can't. I hate when people are like, all right, are you doing MJ at his prime or LeBron? You're like, dude, you're not supposed to mix and match.
I mean,
like, you
LeBron
just say,
always,
hey,
but-
in their prime, when the world had their best
Hey,
opportunity to stop them, they didn't.
Tell me that wasn't the number one debate in the locker room
Oh,
every single
every
year.
week. Or
Every
it was
week.
like Kobe LeBron. It was Kobe MJ.
It was always, dude.
I
it
could
was
never decide
nonstop.
between Kobe and MJ, but MJ and LeBron, I was always an MJ fan. Just because, I mean, we were MJ growing up. Like, I watched him in the 90s.
No, I'm a LeBron guy.
So you're younger than
I'll
me,
break
bro.
the tie, having lived through both their careers too. MJ. Give me
Oh,
MJ.
for sure. Dude fucking gambled every single night and drank whiskey. It's the same fucking thing that like they did back in the 20s. That's the whole point is like as it's gotten on, they've gotten more advanced. I don't see guys now doing
Slightly
highballs
prohibition in the 20s.
It was harder in the 20s. Yeah.
It might have been harder, but they were still fucking doing it. That's the problem.
So Booney's back.
back.
So let's start here. I've got, I don't know, at least a couple more. Is this a hot takes for you? We'll get to some mics.
Oh, I love hot
We'll get
takes.
to some dumb
We got
football
a
questions.
Spicy show.
So I'm going to give you the latest reporting, and then I have a hot take that you can tell me if it is or isn't. So the 49ers reportedly had trade agreements in place for Brandon Aiyuk with the Cleveland Browns and the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
This is like 24 hours ago. And then at some point, the Patriots decided, you know what, we're sick of waiting for him to, because he's got to agree to a contract extension.
Yep.
And I don't know, we're not going to play this waiting game. So Adam Schefter said, Patriots, peace out. Ayuk showed no interest in accepting New England's contract terms to finalize the deal. He's like, I ain't playing there. It's a cesspool. So the 49ers and Steelers reportedly resuscitated trade discussions earlier this week. So now it's reportedly the Browns are still in play and the Steelers, but then right before we hit record on this podcast, Andrew Filipponi, who's the big time host on The Fan in Pittsburgh, sports radio guy, he tweets, sources, the Steelers have a verbal agreement in place for Brandon Aiyuk. All of the terms of the deal and the contract details are being hammered out right now. The wide receiver is coming to Pittsburgh, according to Pittsburgh
see.
radio host.
I mean, I'm excited
see.
about that.
That'll be electric up there.
It
so
would
here-
be fucking awesome.
Is this a hot take? Brandon Aiyuk would turn the Steelers back into AFC contenders.
No.
AFC championship game, potentially.
I don't think he touches
I mean,
the ball enough to do that.
That's the thing. They're gonna
You're
that offense
good.
runs
You look
through
great.
That offense runs through Najee Harris.
Right.
Right, like, and I mean, is it Russell Wilson? I'm seeing things that Justin Fields playing better than Russell Wilson. First of
Well,
all,
that's the thing is like,
I
Go ahead.
love training camp headlines. They are my favorite, dude. Like every rookie quarterback is the next Patrick Mahomes, right? Every veteran quarterback looks like he lost a step, right? Like I love training camp headlines
They go
so much. And so like you're reading Pittsburgh that's like Justin Fields, the Bears did him dirty. They didn't develop him. Look at him out here doing these things, right? And so first of all, who's the quarterback in Pittsburgh? It's got to be Russ to start, right? Like I think that's a no-brainer. But if you get the Russ from Broncos last year, I don't care if it is Brandon Aiyuk out there. He's not getting the football, right? Like, and that's the problem. But I do think that you put Aiyuk out there with Najee Harris, he automatically becomes wide receiver one out there. You pair him with
Pickens, man. George
That's-
Pickens.
That's the kid.
George
George Pickens. That's a deep receiving room now. Like that's two really solid options to have, and it'd be more weapons than Justin Fields.
and they
ever
still have
had in
Fryermuth,
Chicago.
right? At tight end. Big
Yeah,
ass
They have
tight end.
Fryermuth,
big old
Cordero
Pat.
Patterson.
Well, see, now here's
yeah,
another
CP,
thing.
you know.
And here's the thing that Jay was talking about. Even if it's not Russ, say it is Justin Fields, who I think is going to get a chance early. Dude, then you got some really interesting things going on because then it kind of runs through Justin and Najee, and at the same time, the pass game becomes even more important, right? Like, it just becomes more easier to throw it when you have so many guys in the backfield that can run every which way.
Because that
What's
defense is still elite.
Dude, they're still really good. Fucking Minka in the middle. Dude, he's fucking awesome. But I think
They also signed Patrick Queen in free agency too.
Yes.
To go TJ Watt, Joey Porter Jr. year 2.
dude, it's going to be interesting. That's another one I'm excited to see, Joey Porter Jr. Here's what I will say about this. This is fucking hilarious. And this I never saw coming. And I'm going to actually retract some of my previous statements from before. Hear me now.
A retraction.
Everybody sit down
from
and
the
listen.
Rhino.
Listen,
a
listen.
retraction.
Backtracking ding.
The fuck do I get a ding for?
Oh, that's a palm though. That's
Dude!
100% a palm. Double
I
palm.
kind of was going like this, and then it fell into it. I was giving a very layman's. Fuck you both.
Welcome
All right.
back.
Okay, welcome back. I'm been fine out the ass. Listen, hands are down. All right. When we first got rid of this holdout, I was like, wow, we really fucked ourselves, right? But here's what I'm starting to see. The hold in is actually fucking killing the coaches. And I mean killing them. I mean, I don't know what CD's doing because that money you're getting fined. When I held out, they were like, we're not going to fine you. I was like, duh, because I just wouldn't come back. I would probably have to quit because you'd have all my money, dumbasses. But at the same time, when you're holding in, everything you do is being judged. The minute he went out and dapped up fucking Shanny, everybody was like, did you see that? Did you see that? It wasn't even a real dap. It's like, dude, not even like, do we give a fuck about that? But the fact that every day the GM and the head coach have to walk by you as you're in sweats and you're like, hey, what's up? Where we at? Nowhere? Well, I guess this hamstring ain't getting better. I don't know what to fucking tell you. Right? Like, it drives them more nuts. And that's why I think the owners really fucked themselves on this. When I wasn't allowed to come around, it was easy for the coaches to bag on me. It was easy for them to be like, he's a fucking shithead for not being here. He's an asshole. He's a dickhead. Were they calling me? Yeah. They were calling me and being like, where are we at? Are you coming back anytime soon? I was like, are you going to continue to bag on me, douchebags? And they were like, of course we are. We have to. And I was like, this is terrible, right? But the team didn't see me, so they didn't have to deal with it. Now that you're there, the constant questions of where are we with Aiyuk, all this shit. Like, you can see Shanny's starting to get grayer and grayer by the day. And he's like, guys, because listen, and this is my warning. I've seen this song and dance. I played for that team. I see the same thing fucking happening. There's injuries. There's guys that are like, I want the fuck out. There's guys that are like, I want more money. Rightfully so. I'm not saying Trent Williams doesn't deserve more fucking money. But when you have this perfect trifecta and storm, all of a sudden the team goes, fuck, we're screwed. Why? Because we don't even have anybody fucking playing. We don't have a left tackle. We don't have a receiver. We don't have a running back. Fuck, guys, that's 3 of our biggest players on our team. What are we doing? Like, you fall into this problem of, hey, I want to get paid. And now everyone's like, you want to get paid? We got to pay the fucking quarterback, dude. Shut up. And they're like, oh, I'm not coming. Right? And at the same time, I think Aiyuk's kind of being a dick. And I said it because here's why. If you sit there and go, I want out, and some team comes and goes, we'll give you a first rounder for him and we'll pay you $30 million a year, and you say, nah, what the fuck is that, dude? How do you think teams get built? You think teams are just sitting there and all of a sudden they're like, one day they just rise up? They have to start going out and getting pieces and parts and going, hey, we're going to grab this dude. Why? Because he's fucking really good and we're going to pay him whatever the fuck he wants right now because we need him to at least win 5 games out here. Yeah, it's going to suck. But, dude, that's part of the journey. And that's what kind of pisses me off is when you're sitting here bitching and you're like, I want more money or I want out. And people are like, okay, we'll take you up on your offer. And you're, not you, though. Not you. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
So you're annoyed that he's being choosy and doesn't want to go to New England.
They offered you $30 million. I want to know how many people in America right now are making $30 million. Shut the fuck up and go, hey, I'll go to the other side. Thank you.
I do agree with you on the point that, like, you don't get to have your cake and eat it too.
No.
Right? But here's the thing. He might.
Well, he's going to.
And that's the thing. Like, and this is setting a precedent. This is setting a precedent now that you're going to be able to do that, and it's a dangerous thing to do. And I'm all for giving players more power.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm all for it. But, like, I agree with you in Boone that if you're going to say, like, pay me or get me out of here and someone wants to pay you, and then you kind of like, I'm going to wait and see if someone else pays me. It's not a great look. It's just not a great look.
It's stupid. And honestly, let's be serious, though. We are saying that even if he goes to the Steelers, and even I know this is a big what if, boys. You're talking about Russ has to be playing really well in a real fucking game. At the same time, Justin Fields might have to come back and play really well in a game. There's an offensive line turnover that's happening. At the same time, you're trying to find a receiver to come out there and mix with you guys. Dude, it's a lot to be like, oh, yeah, they're going to be good. Like, I see what everyone else sees. Like, wow, that'd be a really great get. But I'm not going to sit there and be like, yeah, that's the NFC North champions. Not at all.
That would have been a slam dunk for the Patriots. I mean, you pair him with Drake May and you say, you two become best friends. Right? You two hang out together. Be best friends. You're going to be locker mates. Like,
Brandon, teach him everything.
You two are how we're going to build this thing and go. Like, right. I think Aiyuk should have been like, hell yeah, let's go do this. I want to build my legacy, right? I want to be a legacy guy.
By the way, Kraft will fucking pay you now. Like,
yeah, he's got the money.
Which is dead, y'all. They got the money, and they were like, okay, listen, that was a 30-year plan. It went really well. Now it's time to do the next 30-year plan, which is fucking pay everybody out the ass, and we're going to have to go back to the old school because we don't have the Belichick, right? Like, this is the thing, and that's kind of like the whole lust of football for me, it's like, dude, do you really want to play football? Do you want to be a playmaker? Because that's how you become a fucking playmaker. That's my whole point. If you want to be a playmaker, you show up on a shitty team and go, I'm the fucking workhorse. Everybody follow me. And then if they start doing well, guess what? Everyone's like, I want to go play with that dude. See, it's the whole problem. People always tell me, it's not true. People don't look at free agency like that. I'm like, yes, they do. And it's fucked up because if a team's like, I will pay you more than anybody to run routes in this league, and you're like, I'll take less to go somewhere else. Well, that's fucked up.
The thing that'll be very curious will be what is the dollar amount from Pittsburgh, right? Like if it's like, but that's the thing. Like, are you saying that you like? Does it have?
We do not have contract figures from Pittsburgh.
Because that'll be really interesting to me. Is if Aiyuk takes less money to go to Pittsburgh than he did to go to the Patriots, right? Because then was it really about money, or did he just really want out of San Fran and he was just waiting to go to a team that he wanted to go to? Right.
Well, here a couple things on this. All right. First of all, I think it's wild that you guys are criticizing him for not going to New England when Pittsburgh's an option. So
is it though?
We don't know.
It's
already been reported that the Patriots offered a $30 million
cards were
deal.
on the table for the Patriots, right? Like
that's why they were like, "Here's everything, take it or leave it." And he was like, we're like, well, that's the whole point of a holdout. A team comes and goes, we'll give you 2 first-rounders and we'll give you your $30 million. Why? Because we're in need of help. And
this
you're like,
going to look like shit when he signs with the Steelers 10 minutes after this podcast wraps.
Well, no, but no. The premise. I mean, the premise is we led with, hey, Pittsburgh radio host is reporting
we didn't start this rumor. The Pittsburgh radio host did.
We're bagging on him. Also, he's going to go to Pittsburgh for 32, and we're like, oh, well, we were fucking morons.
He should.
Maybe he does.
He should go to Pittsburgh. In fact, if I'm him, New England offers me $30 million. Okay, that would be 100% about the money because I'm not winning a damn thing in the next 3 years with that team right now. They are new coach. They are rebuilding that roster from the ground up.
You're going to be the guy they're starting it around, though. They're making you the guy. You, Brandon,
okay,
are
and you're going to win 5 games. So, like,
and make $30 million. You're going to have lots of fun being our superstar. We're not going to win a lot of games. I hate to tell you, half the league's not going to win a lot of games. Do we not know this by now? Like,
but
a lot of teams
can.
are going to go in the Who says Pittsburgh can? Fucking Cincinnati's really good. The Ravens are really good. That's my whole point. What is different about
But your point
Pittsburgh
is that he should go play for a crappy team?
No offense, but the Steelers didn't do shit last year either. We're all basing this on a hypothetical that Russell Wilson has pulled his head out of his ass.
Steelers roster better top to
They're
bottom.
also in a tough fucking division. Welcome to the real world. Which one do you want? I mean, anywhere you go in the NFL, it's going to be like this. That's my whole point. What are you running from? They offered you 30. I got what I want. We're not going to win a lot of games. Says who? Says these guys on the fucking radio?
If a better team offers you 30 or 28, I'm going to the better team.
They haven't.
The Patriots are the
offered
last
anything.
team I want to play for right now if I'm a wide receiver.
They haven't offered anything clearly because I think if they did, he would have taken it. That's my whole point. They're probably like, yeah, we're interested. What's going on? Boom. People are like, the Steelers are interested. There's a deal going on. And at the same time, as we've reported it right now, Brandon Aiyuk has not taken a deal from the Steelers. If they were like, hey, we'll give you 25.
I'm refreshing my Twitter feed.
Do you think he would say yes?
Just to be clear, the premise I'm going off of is that he has agreed to a deal with the Steelers, according to a prominent Pittsburgh media
Is it on
member.
NFL.com?
We don't know what the price tag is, and we probably will 10 minutes after this podcast is over to a
Right. Does Florio know? Because Florio is always the first.
No, he's not. Florio? Adam Schefter is going to nail it.
Schefter's going to be the one.
But that's how he does it. He pulls all Shefty's stuff.
So,
no.
I think the Steelers...
look at this. The NCAA imposes a 4-year
Stop it. That's my mic. You stop that. Stop that.
It's fucking hilarious, dude. This shit drives me nuts. All right, no, it's not been reported yet. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we'll see what happens. I think for me,
Morgan's out.
Stay away from New England. Pittsburgh's a much better organization. You can be a huge difference maker. Okay, is this a hot take?
Was that a hot take? Is that considered a hot take?
Yes.
We got pretty hot there. Welcome back, boys. Yeah, I heard it got soft when I was gone. The fuck are you talking about?
Can you mute him?
Woo!
I can actually. So the NFL's top 100 player list came out as voted on by the players.
I'm going to get hotter by the minute.
So I'm not going to give you the whole 100, but number 1, Tyreek Hill. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Christian McCaffrey. Number 4, Patrick Mahomes. So is this a hot take by the players to vote Patrick Mahomes 4th best player in the NFL?
You want to go, Alex?
I just think it's the most fucking inaccurate poll I've ever seen in my life.
Here's the thing. You have to understand. The way that they do these top 100 things,
it's bad. It's bad.
They walk into the locker room.
It's kind of funny.
They hand everyone a sheet, and they're like, hey, rank the top 100 players in the league. And you're like, asshole,
Fuck
it's
you.
day 12 at camp. Leave me alone. I don't want to deal with this. And you throw it to some rookie, and you're like, you do it. I don't want to do this. And so it really isn't voted on by the players.
No.
Like, it really isn't. It isn't like we all sit in a room, and we're like, all right, 100. Who's up? Right? Like, it's not like that at all. It is much as like, how fast can we fill this out? It's like, hey, Tyreek had a good year, right? Yeah, Tyreek had a good year. How many sacks did TJ have? I guess we'll put him on the list, too.
Hey, no bullshit. That's exactly how
I swear to God, that's exactly
how it happens. And I remember,
how it
do you remember what the paper looked like? It'd be like, it'd have a row of bars, and then it would say the NFL 100 as voted on by the players.
They just hand it out.
And you'd be like, rookie,
you'd be like, oh,
fill
this is cool.
out.
Trash.
No.
Like, no one actually fills
Don't
it out.
fucking care. Don't ask me what to rank the 100. Yeah, the guy I'm playing every year would have been number one. Like, and it was the worst because all the rookies would look at me and be like, where do I put Aaron Donald? I'd be like, shut the fuck up. We're not talking about him yet. We are not even at that week. I do not want to hear that motherfucker's name. I'd be like,
but you guys, someone filled it out, and even if you don't fill out 100, you start with one. You start with one, and the first name is Patrick Mahomes.
Dude, I'm telling you right now,
and it apparently wasn't.
It should have been. I mean, it absolutely
is.
Should have been.
It's Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Dude, think about this. This was a funny thing, and I forget whose show I was watching. But they put up this stat. Since Patrick Mahomes has lost Tyreek Hill, he is number one in like touchdowns. He's number one in yards. He's had back-to-back Super Bowls. Motherfucker, it wasn't Tyreek Hill. It was Patrick Mahomes. We know who it was. We're not idiots. They paid him $500 million. And at the same time, did you see his logo is on the fucking football stadium for his college? Did you know that? Did you know that the Patrick Mahomes logo is on the Texas Tech Stadium?
I did know that.
I think that is incredible. You're telling me that dude's not number one. Stop it.
Here's the top 10, according to players. Tyreek Hill, number 1. Lamar Jackson, number 2. Christian McCaffrey, number 3. Patrick Mahomes, 4. Myles Garrett, 5. Chris Jones, 6. Trent Williams, 7. TJ Watt, Travis Kelce, Max Crosby, Fred Warner, 11th, and then Josh Allen is 12th.
Just move Patrick to 1, and I'm cool with all the other spots. I'm fine with everybody being where they are. Patrick is clearly Dude, there's never, if he's in the league, he's number 1. Don't even care. Dude, by the way, wasn't there like a top 100 where like Aaron Rodgers made like 90th?
93.
Yeah, he's 40 with a blown Achilles, though.
Dude, he played 8 plays. What are we talking about?
Where was Kirk at?
Stop it.
Are you trolling with that question, or
no?
I think he is.
I don't know. You think I watched this? I didn't watch it.
What do you want to know for?
I didn't want to watch it.
Bring it up.
I'm genuinely curious.
Where is he, Mac?
If Kirk is,
say it before Mackey tells us.
Is he lower? If Kirk
where do you think
lower,
he is?
If Kirk is lower,
I got it. Where do you think?
I'm gonna guess he's 50th.
Hold on. I'm gonna say 38th.
Really? You guys have him as a top 40, top 50 player. Well, the league doesn't quite agree with you.
Oh, they have him in the lower.
81st.
Oh, that's
okay.
Fair. Totally
that's fair. That's
this whole list.
After 60, nobody's really paying attention. I gotta be honest with you. Nobody gives a fuck. I'm the 64th best player. People are like, "Fuck, congratulations, you suck."
All right, I want to give you what the real top 10 should be. Right,
as told by Mac.
As told by Macadac. These are the actual top 10 players in the National Football League, and you can take this players list and you can crumple it up and throw it away. Right. So I thought there was like 15 or 16 players that you could make a case to put in the top 10, maybe a couple more. But let's start with number 10. A guy that I think was not even in the top 20 of the NFL's list. Let me see here. He was 22nd on the NFL's list. I've got him number 10. 1 sack allowed last season and one of the best run-blocking offensive linemen in the league. Penei Sewell is number 10 for me. For sure. He gets disrespected because he's playing right tackle. Although he mixed in for
he's changing it. Right tackles are now seen as left. I love it.
Yeah, and he's the best right tackle in the NFL. Again, yes. 1 sack allowed last season and a road grader. He helped open up that Lions run game. Number 10, Penei Sewell. Number 10, the best overall tight end in the NFL. Number 9, George Kittle.
Oh, love him. Love him. By the way,
so they have Kelce over Kittle. I've got Kittle over Kelce.
Okay, good. I'm with you. I'm sorry. I love Kelce, but Kittle's run blocking and his love for the run blocking just makes me want to fucking sleep with him sometimes. It's insane.
You got it. Big spoon or little spoon for you?
Big spoon.
Okay.
I'm not going to name that
Choke on
fine,
his-
but you know
choke
what
on his
fine
hair.
that is. I'm not going to name that fine, but you know exactly what fine that
Hey,
is.
it's my last podcast. Going out with a bang.
It's going out. Okay, number 8, Tyreek Hill. He's still one of the fastest, shiftiest players in the league. Although I think Tua owes him some commission off of that contract he just signed.
100%.
Does Tua get $55 million a year if not for Tyreek Hill? Probably not. Okay, number 7, Max Crosby.
I like it.
37 combined sacks in TFLs last year. It's an edge rusher run for me here. Number 6, TJ Watt, 19 sacks, 7 combined forced fumbles and fumble recoveries, an interception, and 8 batted passes. Just literally just does everything. Number 5, a guy, the only clip you need to see is that clip from last year where he's going back and forth across the line of scrimmage and there's 2 tight ends following him. Myles Garrett puts up those numbers with full attention every single game put on him. So Myles Garrett, number 5. A guy that didn't even crack, I don't even think he's top 15. Justin Jefferson, because he missed a couple games with a hamstring.
Yeah.
No wide receiver has been more productive in the first 4 seasons. Dude, this guy was putting up
he's a cheat code.
200-yard
He's
games
fucking
with
ridiculous.
Nick Mullins as his quarterback.
It's ridiculous.
So JJ's number 4. Speaking of cheat codes, I've got Lamar Jackson, number 3. Number 2, Trent Williams. Trent Williams, 2 sacks allowed in 3 years, the last 3 years, in his mid-30s. And how about this? When Trent Williams plays at least 50% of the snaps, so they had a game at the end of the year where he played a quarter and then they rested starters. He got hurt in one of the games. But when he plays at least 50% of the snaps, the 49ers are 26-3 in their last 29 games. Total game changer.
I'm surprised you put a different 49er there than I thought you were going to put.
And the number 1, Patrick Mahomes. I think you're talking about Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean
He's
he didn't
11.
even make your,
He's
he
11
didn't
for
even-
me.
He 11.
Yeah. I know. It's disrespectful, but he's still one of the 11 best
your
football
list.
players in the world for me.
It's your list, Mac. I'm all about it.
Who are you bumping for McCaffrey here?
Probably Trent.
Sewell?
I love you,
Trent?
bro. Did you
It's a
just
bad
say
take.
Christian McCaffrey is?
You
not
think
in the
Christian
top
so
3?
you
Are
could only have
fucking
either
serious?
Christian McCaffrey or Trent Williams on your football team?
I'm gonna take fucking Christian McCaffrey every fucking time. Are you high
Dude.
right now, Mackie? Mackie, seriously, are you high?
You're
Hey,
telling
maybe
me
I
you
don't
would,
know.
you would,
This
you would
guy's
take
done.
Trent over Christian McCaffrey?
For 1 year, yes. He's 37, right? So not for a long-term contract.
No one.
Stop.
The best left tackle in this era of football
Shut up,
over
Mackie, shut
Over
up.
the
running
best
back?
all-around player
Yes,
in the
I'm putting him
NFL?
at 11, and only because Panay is younger than him. I'm giving Panay that credit. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm
The
sorry I
fact
had to
that-
do this.
The fact you don't have him in
This
10.
is the O-line committee, damn it.
buddy.
Listen
Buddy.
to you guys right now.
We
Brody.
love our offensive linemen. Trust
Love
me.
'em.
We love them to death. But you
Love 'em.
cannot tell me that you would rather take Trent Williams at 37 years old than Christian McCaffrey right now. That's just, come on.
I take him with a calf strain over him. I'm not going to lie to you.
I just oh, God.
I put him on the field, and every eye gets glued to him and goes, "Where's he going? What's he doing? Holy fuck!"
How many
I'm already
breakdowns did
behind."
we do of Christian last
A
year? Just
million?
doing amazing
Dude.
things.
Mackie, you're letting us down. a
Well,
little
it's
bit.
also more fun to do running back breakdowns when he's slicing through the line of scrimmage than
Our point
Trent
exactly.
Williams' perfect mechanics every single drop back for 17 games. So people can fight me. I'd be curious to see what
your
the
list.
commenters say.
Your
But
list.
this is the
Your
O-line
list.
committee, and you literally have 2 NFL offensive linemen telling me I'm an idiot for taking an offensive lineman over a running back. So,
Christian
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey. Not just a running back. It's not like you were like,
Not just a left
Alexander
tackle.
Madison. No, asshole. Christian McCaffrey, the GOAT of running backs right now.
You guys
The
should be
dude can
ashamed
catch,
of yourself.
The dude can run in between the tackles. He can run outside.
Dude, we
This
respect the
dude
running backs. We love
is
'em.
the man in the NFL right now.
Love
now,
him.
he's down for a hurt year because that's what happens. They run him into the ground, and then he gets hurt for a year, and then he recovers, and he comes
Oh,
back for
shocking.
another year.
Yeah, Trent Williams.
But-
isn't-
Just saying.
It's not even reported.
That's true.
He's not even
Neither
there.
one of them are practicing
He's
right
not
now.
even in practice.
Boy, we're changing the name of the show after this one.
Stop it.
What's happened there? Okay, who's the mic?
Go
Who
ahead,
wants to
Jay.
start?
I got a mic.
You're
I got
so
a mic.
mad at me.
No, I'm going to start with this one. Julius
it.
Peppers got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yes.
Right? And this dude, I got to play against him. I got to play with him for a camp. This dude was incredible. Right? I mean, I watched this dude that had grays in his beard, grays in his dreads, power snatching like 275. Like this dude was just an absolute freak of nature. And my favorite, I couldn't find the clip. My favorite Julius Peppers. We're playing them in 2017. Vikings playing the Panthers. I end up starting that game at left guard. I end up having to finish the game at right tackle. I bump out to right tackle, and it's just a pass rush fest, right? And that's Julius Peppers across me. And the whole time I'm like, God, freaking Hall of Famer. I've been not used to right tackle. And for the most part, he's kind of chilling, right? It's not like freak out city. And he's over there, and we'd pass rush, we'd connect, ball gone. He'd be like, all right, hey, good play. And we'd be around. I was like, oh, this is nice. This is all right. Don't poke the bear. Like, help him up.
This is
right.
nice.
And then we're playing. We have a third down, sliding to the right. I stone him. I get him. He's kind of chilling. And all of a sudden, here comes Nick Easton from the center position and comes over and just cleans his ribs, dude. Just bang, which at any other time, I'd have been like, hell yeah. Julius Peppers stands up. That's what we're doing. That's how we're going to be doing this. And Nick's like, yeah, I got him, right? I was like, you don't have to block him, you asshole. You sit there in the middle. I've got this dude. And the rest of the game was just a war. Dude, just like this dude would he turned it up to 10. And I mean, it was not fun. Dude had go-go gadget arms and was just going for it. And to play against him, I think I played against him with the Packers too. You know, just to say I got to be on share a field with a guy that was that talented, so God-given, and worked his tail off. One of the best to ever do it. I mean, hats off to him. Congrats on a fantastic career.
He played until he was almost 40, which
at a DN
at
position.
that
And
position,
I can tell you from a fact that I blocked him several times, he was so fucking thick. Like,
And
he was so
strong,
much
dude.
bigger than you guys all thought he was.
Like when you stand next to him, you're like, oh,
massive.
gosh,
I remember
you're
the
a
first
big
time we
dude.
were playing him, AD and I were going into the game, we were like, we're going to talk so much shit to him and Clay. Like, we're going to fucking make fun of him. And then we saw Julius, and we were like, all right, let's just talk about Clay. Fuck you, Clay. Dude, he's huge. And you would look up and see him and Clay out there, and you'd be like, this is not going to end well for any of us. And it would just end up in a big pile. And you'd be like, any way to get the two of them down. And dude was a competitor till the end. I totally agree with Jace. Like, there were times where he was like, I get the vibe, right? Like, he's not going to go through you every time. But, man, you could tell when he turned up because his stance was different. He was very front loaded. He would start barking a little bit, start talking a little shit, and you'd be like, all right, he's getting going. Like, you'd try to tame him down, and you'd be like, this is a full grown motherfucker. Like, dude was so fun to play against and so cool. Like, just, it's hard to explain the boys club when you're out there, but like, he never took anything too far, and he never went too serious. He'd try to fuck you up, but he wouldn't like London Fletcher you, like cut you in the middle of the whole type shit. Like, I love London to death. We're both from Cleveland, and we used to train together. But Julius was a super chill dude, man. Totally agree with that. Super excited for him to get inducted. What a great honor. And at the same time, I'm gonna have to throw another one. Patrick Willis. Patrick and I were teammates for 7 years. He was one of the greatest, and I mean this to death, one of the nicest, sweetest guys in the world. Fucking the coolest dudes. Worked incredibly hard every day. Like, beyond hard. Couldn't believe at times how hard he was working, and he always wanted things to be perfect, so he'd redo a ton of shit. He was the guy that set the tone for our team. I feel like every time, we do a team breakdown, it was always Patrick because everyone loved Patrick, and he was the guy that you knew put out 110% of the time. Dude fucking hit stick everybody. And honestly, and I heard kind of a little bit of his commencement speech or his speech during the game. He was talking about the Harbaugh boys. He was the one that kind of made that team great. Guys like him were the reasons that team was so great because Jim saw it early, and he was like, we need to get best on best as much as we can. And at times you'd be like, Jim, we're really beat up. He'd be like, good. This is when we need it the most, right? Like, this is when we're going to grind the most. Patrick never was down. Like, and Jay, you know exactly what I'm saying. There'd be those little group huddles where you'd be like, man, it's a little too much, right? Like, we get fucked up. Like, Patrick was always the guys like, come on, man, we got to go. We got to rally. We got to do this. And he'd always get Navarro going, and Navarro would get everybody else going because Navarro loved to talk shit. And then all of a sudden it just became competition every fucking day, and we just bang heads. And him and our fullbacks would go at it, dude. And it was great because it trickled up to the coaches to where like the offensive coordinator, Giro, and Vic Fangio would start going at it. And all of a sudden it was like, this is what football should be. A fucking war on the field. Guys going at it, coaches talking shit. And it was fun because when you play guys like that and you get to actually touch them and see how fast they are, you forget sometimes. And you'd be blocking him, and he'd just slip away from you. You'd be like, guaranteed this guy goes to the Hall of Fame. There's no way this guy's not going.
We
so
should give
fucking good.
We should give props to some of these other guys too. I mean, Dwight Freeney was a legend for 15 years. Two different
Dwight.
eras of Bears legends. Well, by the way, Andre Johnson, receiver too, kind of I feel like under the radar career.
Dude, remember when him and Cortland Finnegan went at it?
Yeah.
I fucking
Yes.
loved. I remember I was in the league when that happened.
Throwing
And
haymakers.
I hated Cortland Finnegan. Everybody hated that motherfucker. I actually threw him down one time by his face mask. I have it on video. And when him and Andre Johnson went at it, dude, I remember thinking, good for him. Fuck that guy. That guy was a dick. Like he beat the shit out of that guy. But just talk about like he was like the first like guy that came out there and was just fucking badass. Him and Megatron, in my opinion, were the first two big receivers that were like, don't fuck with those guys. They're fast as shit, freaky as fuck, and they will mess you up in a fight.
big.
Like big as fuck, dude. That's what's so cool about those guys.
Yeah.
The
Freeney, I actually played with as a rookie. I was with Freeney in San Diego.
Fuck
Wow.
you.
And I can remember when he spun on me the first time in practice, it was like a flash of lightning, dude. Like, and he hit me with the meanest like elbow right to my forearm and just full dead arm. And I was just like, oh, that was so cool.
really cool.
Right? Like, dude, holy shit. I just got spun on by Dwight Freeney. Right? Like, it was such like but he was such a good dude too. Like, he talked to me about my set and he's like, here's what I'm seeing. Like, here's what I'm going to attack on you. And I was like, holy crap. Like, things I didn't even think about like as a rookie in the league on practice squad, right? But then my favorite was no touch Fridays. Do not touch Dwight Freeney on Fridays, right? Like he would rush and he'd just like do his little hand things and then he'd just run back, be like, nice rep. And then my O-line coach would be all over my ass. Throw your hands. I'd be like, he doesn't want me to touch him. That's Dwight Freeney, dude. I'm not going to touch him on a Friday if he doesn't want me to touch him. Are you out of your mind?
So wait, he coined no touch Fridays? Like
That's
no
what he
touch?
told me. The first Friday.
I
First
guarantee
Friday
you
he walked
someone like that
straight
told
up to me and I think he didn't tell me initially and he I sat and I threw my hands and punched him and he was like, rookie, I'm gonna tell you one time. Do not touch me. No touch Friday. I was like, got it. Sure thing, bud. Anytime, Mr. Freeney.
Yeah, we played them Thursday night. We were at the Cardinals, and DJ Humphries and I had to go over during a timeout and shake his hand. I was like, dude, it's so awesome to be out here with you. And he hit Hump with a spin, and I caught it, and I was so excited. And I mean, dude, you want to talk about? We were like, dude, your spin move's still scaring the shit out of us. He was like, man, you guys are the best. I was like, no, seriously, dude, you're scaring the fuck out of both of us. Like, it's so fun, and that's what was so cool about this league. With like being a huge fan, is like you can go meet guys like that at random timeouts and be like, hey, I just want to shake your hand real quick. I know you're probably gonna hit me with a spin and fuck me up later, but I just gotta say it's an honor to be out here with you because you're gonna get a gold jacket someday, and that's so cool. Like these guys are so awesome. They're going into the Hall of Fame. So proud of them.
Do you think people ask Dwight Freeney at family and friend gatherings at a restaurant?
I just see it one time.
Just put it on me one time. Yeah.
Dude. Oh,
two legendary Bears from different eras too. Devin Hester, probably the greatest kick and punt returner of all time. And then a bunch of people saw this clip. He's essentially on his deathbed with ALS, but Steve Mongo McMichael was defensive tackle centerpiece of those great mid-'80s Bears defenses. Also a WCW wrestler. He was part of the Ric Flair Four Horsemen in the 1990s. Woo! So Steve Mongo McMichael
just
gets
stealing,
in.
wheeling, dealing, baby.
Love it. Great
Limousine
class.
riding, jet flying.
Great class.
So, okay,
More liquor.
new mic.
I got one
Booney.
more mic.
Jay.
mic.
Oh,
Go.
Jay's got it.
Mr. Jim Harbaugh.
You're
Getting
such a hater.
suspended for not even for the sign stealing. That's still out there. That's still coming. But the fact that the NCAA deemed it necessary to suspend him for like 4 years if he ever comes back to college is hysterical to me. I think it's so funny, right? Like they're trying to, and now they're going to go after Sharon Moore. They're going to try to do all these things. And Jim had the press conference the other day where he's like, no, sometimes you make mistakes and you just kind of move on from them. Like, you just dropped a grenade in Michigan and we're like, see you later,
See ya,
man.
boys.
Like, I'm out of here.
See ya.
I think it's so funny because it's going to keep coming out. Things are going to keep happening. The NCAA is going to keep saying this, and Connor Stein's that, and Jim's going to be sitting in LA like, them poor boys in Ann Arbor are just going to have to wear this one.
Dude,
Sorry, boys.
The Pro Football Talk Twitter headline on this is just chef's kiss. The NCAA has attacked Jim Harbaugh with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
Dude, Jim's literally going, well, Sucks to be them.
Yeah,
Moving on. No, dude.
we never look back, man.
Listen, we all knew this was going to happen, right? None of us thought we were getting away scot-clean out of this. I just do feel bad for Sharon more because he is going to be the fall guy.
He has to
in all
wear
this.
it.
You're going to have to wear the shit out of it. Dude,
that
Connor
sword's,
Stalions
that
fucked
sword's
you guys.
sitting there, and he's just slowly falling towards it. Like
I hope he's getting paid a fortune. I do.
like,
dude.
just waiting for it. It's
By the
coming.
way, you know he's just sitting there like, well, fuck the NCAA. I'm never going back. Never going back.
Never going back.
Never going back.
So I just think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious the NCAA is still trying to poke at Jim Harbaugh even after he
burned the boats, man.
Burned
He
the
burned the
boats, won the
boats.
natty, and just biggity bounced.
Dude, and I heard they're trying to strip the natty from him, which I don't know that you could ever really strip a team of their national championship.
I mean,
but
I think that stuff's so stupid.
it really is. Everyone's
It's like
not going
they
to
won
be
it.
like,
So what are you going to do? You're going to hand it? You're going to hand
Well,
it
they
to
punished
Washington?
him too. They punished
Like you're
him.
going to hand it
well,
to
that's
Washington?
the NCAA saying you're not getting away scot-free. Believe me, everyone's trying to go at Jim right now because I feel like the NCAA is looking at this going, shit, this is going to be a way for coaches to go do something stupid and leave. So if we punish the program and we start going after them, then schools are going to start to be like, y'all better keep your shit up tight, which is going to lead me into my next mic, which is the fight between the Lions and the Giants.
Oh.
And not because of a fight, but because both teams were fined $200,000. And I'm just warning you right now, the conversation the next day from the head coach was probably something like, if I see one motherfucking fist thrown today, I'll fine you $200,000 myself. Like, this is why fighting has changed. When I came in the league, fighting was cool. We used to go to Oakland. We went at it with Oakland several fucking times. Whatever. Nobody gave a shit. Now you get into a fight and the teams are getting fined massive amounts of money because the NFLPA is like, this is bullshit. We shouldn't allow this. We shouldn't let these teams go renegade. League's like, you're right. Let's fine the fuck out of them. So now the owners are like, God damn it. You lose one more dollar because some asshole fucking strips you of a ball late. I'll kill you. Like, dude, the next fine is like $500,000.
It's all the same thing. It's all because of these.
Right.
It's all because
They can't
someone
fight
on the
like they used to. Y'all
sideline
gotta stop.
films it, and then it hits Twitter, and then it hits Instagram, and then
They got to be more discreet about the fights. There used to be a
billion
time
views.
where one guy could fight one guy, and there'd be like a huddle, and guys were chill, and it was kind of like two dudes yoking up. But when a whole team brawl breaks out, everyone's going to get fucking fined massive amounts of money.
I mean, I think, gosh, Booney, were you there when did we have joint practices before the third preseason game? Was that you? 17? Mac, do you remember? We had a joint practice.
No, I wasn't there in 17.
All I
AZ.
know is we had a joint practice. Maybe it was Buffalo. I can't remember. But I remember we had a joint practice before the third preseason game. Or maybe it was the fourth preseason game. I can't remember. And I thought the coaches handled this in the absolute perfect way. They had the team meeting before the joint practice started. He goes, men, here's what's going to happen. If you fight, no fighting. If you fight and you're a starter, you will have to play in this fourth preseason game.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you
that's
fight
right.
and you're a backup trying to fight for a role, you will not play in this preseason game. And I'll tell you this, there were 0 fights.
Yeah.
That's
Zero
the best
fights.
way to handle it.
Because
Yeah.
that's the best way to handle it. Because if you're a starter going in the fourth preseason game,
You do
you're
not wanna
I
play.
don't want to play. Like, and he was like, and you will play the whole game. He's like, you will play the entire game if you're a starter and you start
Yeah.
to fight.
Is this
Because think
Zimmer?
about this: if you're
I
a
can't
starting
remember,
player,
dude. I'm trying
I don't
to
think
remember
Zimmer-
where
it
it
was,
was
'cause we went to
might have been
Cincinnati.
Carolina. I think it was
No,
Carolina.
it definitely was not. Dude,
I think
Zimmer,
it was Ron Rivera. I think it was Ron Rivera in Carolina.
Zimmer didn't give a shit about fights because remember we went to Cincy and we were like, we're just not fighting because it's hot. We're like,
Yeah.
we're just not going to throw a fist because it's 200 degrees out here.
Yeah, but that was the rule. That's
That's a great. You told me about that, and that's a great fucking thought.
I think
'cause
that's
I'd have been
the
like,
best-
I'm done.
That's the best way. That's the best way to.
Just-
as
so
a
as-
threat
as-
that
as
you
you're-
gotta
as you're-
jammed right in the face.
as you're
like,
pulling
fuck
your
it.
hand back to throw a punch, and
I
you
need to
can-
make this team.
You're thinking like, I'm gonna lose some money. Screw it, worth it. Punch him,
Yeah.
right? I might have to play, and I'm a starter. I don't want to, or the other way around. Yeah.
It's so true because there's several times that I would get fined from Harbaugh because he was quick to be like, one punch cost you $2,500, and you would know that going in, and sometimes you just get set off, and you just be like,
Worth it. 5,000,
by the
7,500,
time
10,000.
you got back to the locker, it was in your. You were like, damn it! Like it stopped you for like 6 more weeks. Like, no, I just can't lose this money. Like it's not worth it. But dude, when they let dudes fight, like when I first got in the league, it was fucking insane. Like there was massive ragers. And my other problem with this is your fucking quarterback is in there fighting. God, I thought this kid was smart. You're a fucking
Daniel
idiot.
Jones. Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Locker room, dude.
You're an idiot. You know how you win the locker room? By winning fucking games for us. That's your job. My job's fight big, ugly, scary guys. Your job, win games. God, dude, they reminded me of a time. and I'm not going to name when this was, but I was playing on a team, and a fight broke out between our quarterback and their middle linebacker. And at one point, our O-line was like, shut the fuck up, because they're throwing shit at us we haven't seen in a long fucking time, and we're trying to figure it out, dude. Quarterback was, we got fuck them. Are you pussy? We were like, dude, shut up. Cannot pick this blitz up yet. Chill. Dude, we got hit with so many blitzes in the second. It was just like, God damn, just check the play, okay, man? God, they do too much.
It's always day 2. It's always day 2 of the joint practices, because
day one's the push.
Day 1's the push.
Fuck
then
you.
like you're doing your thing, and then you go back into the meeting room and you're watching it, and then your coach or your buddy's gonna go,
What's
you're
this?
just gonna let him do that to you?
We
You're
let
just-
this happen?
You're just gonna let this happen. You're just gonna take this, but no fighting.
Is this
No
Niner
fighting.
Football? Is this
None of
Niner
it.
Bowl? No.
And then the next day, it was always during the one-on-ones, right? It was always during the one-on-ones, and here's what happens. I mean, tale is old as time.
Yep.
The one-on-one's going, right? Win, lose, or draw, whatever it is, blow the whistle. The D lineman heads back, and all it is just a little push. And then it's the D lineman turns around, and whop! There we go. Like, it's always the powder keg that explodes on day 2.
Yeah, but you can't take the push, because then it feels like you're getting punked or clowned
Yes.
in some way, right?
200%,
you gotta
dude.
stand up
You
for yourself
cannot.
and your
You
team.
can't.
You've got a lot of alphas in one space,
Dude,
A
and
lot
yeah.
of
Here's what's
testosterone
funny.
flowing. It's gonna happen.
This
I don't
Lions
care.
ju-
It'll never not happen. There will
Oh
always
no,
be a fight.
you're
in
always
joint
going to fight.
practice.
I'm sorry,
Always.
it has to. The problem is, and this is the Good Morning Football reporter was talking about this, Schrager and the other guy,
Peter
do,
Schrager.
do angry hits, and they were like, well, it's just like the Lions came in here like, look at us, and we're the badasses, and the Giants just weren't going to take it. And I'm like, no, I'm sure somebody called someone a pussy, and somebody was like,
Yeah.
the fuck you just called me a pussy in front of my boys. Like, it's not this, they're walking around like a bunch of gritty, tough guys. I don't give a fuck what you're about. You push me late or put your hands in my face, I'll fuck you up just like I will the next guy. And I don't care what the fine is. God damn it, I'm out here to do it. I'm going to do it. Because Jay's right. There's nothing worse than a coach that's like, taking shit these days, are we? I didn't know we're fucking pussies in this room. You're like, all right, motherfucker, you said it. Not me.
Yeah, all right, here we go.
Go ahead, start a fight. See what the head man says. Man, I don't give a fuck about the head man anymore. That's exactly how I'd act. I don't give a fuck what anyone has to say. It goes down tomorrow.
Yeah. And then your head man would get yelled at, you get kicked out, and then you get over to individual, and they'd be like, good period. Good job, guys. That was good. That was good.
Hey,
look over his shoulder. Fuck those guys. Yeah. And you just be like, yeah, babe, don't do it again. Don't do it again, because then I'll get in trouble.
My favorite picture from that practice, by the way, this is gonna. I know Jay, you're a Giants guy, so this is gonna hurt your soul here, but it was Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, and like another one of the young offensive players, might have been like Devin Singletary or whatever, standing by each other next to Daniel Jones at practice, and someone said, like, Giants fan, who's gonna stop this offense?
Yeah.
And the first
Number 8.
reply was Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
The guy in red. It was the guy in red.
Yeah. He's definitely stopping
Fucking
that
made
one.
me laugh so
Hey,
hard.
I will say Malik Neighbors may be a superstar in the making. Like, dude, he was torching the Lions. Like, he's special. If they can get him the football, he's going to be
That's the
really,
problem,
really
Jay.
good.
Yeah. They have to get him the ball.
He's got a lot of talent. A lot of talent.
Yeah. One more Mike and then dumb football question. So my Mike is Alex's orthopedic surgeon.
Who is it? Leprod?
How do we feel?
It's not
How do we
Leprod.
feel tomorrow?
Bierke's the man, dude.
Bierke. Okay.
It's tomorrow
Bierke
D-Day?
Baldwin.
The
It's
audience
tomorrow D-Day?
knows this has
Tomorrow's
been a
D-Day.
subject. Alex's people ask about how's Alex's knee doing. Looks a little crooked. Not
It's
anymore
so
after
much
tomorrow,
worse.
dude.
It's so much worse. I'm gonna take a picture tonight and send it to you guys.
Do it.
So like, when you look at your legs, they normally go straight down. One of mine goes down and then it shifts out, like way out. And so it's much needed. I'm super nervous. My father-in-law just had it. Shout out Gary. He called me and was like, God, fuck took you so long to do this. This is amazing. I was like, all right, I'm in. But dude, it's just, I think that one of the things that's scary is like, dude, you're putting metal in your body and you're really young. And it's like, I just wanted to make sure it was the right thing to do. And everyone's like, dude, it's the only thing we can do right now. Like, you have to get it done. So I'm excited. I mean, dude, it sounds like you can walk
In
around
case
the next
people
day.
were wondering, that's what Alex's knee looks like.
I told you.
These
see
guys
how
it looks
straight?
worse now.
See how his
Yeah,
kind of
it's worse.
caves in and then back out? It's just not good.
No.
It's
It's
not
supposed
good.
to go straight down.
It's
and
supposed to be straight.
It's
but
so.
It
What
looks like
happened
you have
was-
two left legs in that picture.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
But not
Have you-
tomorrow, dude. Not anymore.
Have you told them to like strap you down coming out of anesthesia? Because I'm worried about you coming out of
No,
anesthesia.
they actually said that because they spinal you now, they're like, your body doesn't know that you've gone through surgery really. And it just thinks that we put you to sleep and woke you back up. And even my father-in-law was like, dude, it felt like I went to sleep and then boom, I was right back awake. And they were like, welcome back. It's all done. Get you up and walking around. And I was like, wait a minute. They had you up and walking around the same day as, oh yeah, man, up the stairs, down the stairs, in the car, out of the car, all over. I was like, and so I was talking to the doc, and he was like, dude, recovery is walking. He's like, we want you up and about moving all day. We don't want you sitting and letting it rest because that's when bad things are going to happen. I was like, so I can coach football still? They were like, oh, yeah, you should be fine. Like, take a cane. You'll walk around for a while. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I already told the boys on the team, and they were like, wait, what? I was like, yeah. You're going to be doing a lot of fucking work this year, okay? Because I'm going to be sitting right here, standing.
Poking
I'm
him
not
with
moving.
his cane.
Yeah, I'm not moving.
You
So
gotta
you're coming
get-
to me.
You got to get the Matt Patricia where you just ride around on the ATV. You just
Dude, I'm excited though, honestly, because I just having a new knee will be so much better for life.
So are you going to be in for the pod next week, or are you going to be
Yes.
out?
I'm
You gonna be
200% in. I am in.
Can we do a pod as you're emerging from anesthesia?
Dude, I was thinking.
Is there like
about-
a
I want a
20-minute
FaceTime.
sweet
I'll
spot?
have my
I want
phone.
a FaceTime.
Do you want to do a live out of surgery?
No.
Why not?
Maybe not live.
We can't get in that much
I don't think
trouble.
we'll do
Maybe
live.
pre-record that
Maybe
one.
pre-record that
Well, how about this? How about as soon as they tell me that I'm good to chill, how about if we just do a whole
Just-
30-minute episode
just
and I'll show you?
FaceTime me.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's going to be great.
So I'm not going to say his name. I had a client. So I told a story of like, when I woke up from anesthesia from my foot surgery, I told them, I was like, it freaking still really hurts. And they're like, oh, okay. And they pumped me full of fentanyl. And I was like, and like rolled back and fell asleep. So I had a client that had surgery, and he calls me immediately as he got out of surgery. Right. And he FaceTimes me, and like, you can tell he's still like, hi. And I'm like, hey, buddy, what's up? And he's like, I did the Sirles trick. And I was like, what? Because I told him it still hurt, and they pumped me full of fentanyl. And I was like, no. I like his wife was next to him, his family's there. I was like, like that was not a story that was meant for any of this. Right? Like, and I was like, I don't recommend this. He was like, it worked perfectly. I was like, oh my God. I was like, hi. Yeah, I'm his agent. It's fine. Like,
I'll take care of him.
I'm his dealer, his enabler.
It's
Yeah.
good. I was like,
Terrible.
Don't say that.
Oh man. So dude, you're gonna feel great. Nothing to be nervous about.
Oh, yeah,
But,
you'll be fine.
if this was your last O-line committee, you've done a great job here
Hey,
today.
if
Booney.
it was, I just want to say, I love you guys. Honestly, to the fans that still fucking come up to me, I love you guys too. Jay, don't forget.
Hey, we'll make it work.
out
I know.
of the
I know where we're
house.
at. I know where the bodies are buried. I know where the bodies are buried. I'll keep them
Get
buried.
rid of them.
All right, dumb football questions here to wrap this episode.
This took a turn last week, Alex.
Why? What happened?
They asked about piss tests, and I went on a full tirade about how awkward the piss tests are in the NFL.
Oh my God, I saw the highlight and you were so right. I could not have agreed when you got on your hands and knees and you were like, go ahead.
Whenever you're ready.
I'll see the specimen now. You're like, dude, so coming from a guy who came into the league in the 2-year suspension, I had to take a drug test every week. After a year, I knew this guy personally.
Very personally. He knew you
Very.
better.
I knew him to the point that he could call me and tell me what I was doing, right? Like he'd be like, you must be at Chipotle right now. I'm like, you know me too well. He'd be like, I'll meet you at your house. And anytime I would leave to go somewhere, you'd have to take a piss the minute you got somewhere and every day you were there and then the minute you got back. They're very, very unprofessional at times. You're like, hey, listen, I sometimes can't piss if you're staring directly into my eyes or my dick. Could you just look maybe away for a second and let me start? And they'd be like, no,
No.
absolutely not. And you'd be like, Marty, I've known you for a year. Could you just look away? Sorry, bud. You know the rules. You'd be like, fuck, man. It was terrible.
Oh gosh.
A lot of people
I had
in the
multiple
comment
people
section-
come up to me this week and be like, dude, I didn't
Terrible.
realize it was that bad. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that
College
bad.
was worse.
Dude, and
College
other
was
people
way
saying
worse.
like, Jay, you actually you may have wanted to report. You may have gotten violated, actually.
Dude, when
This
they
is
started
normal, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. When they started taking blood, it got to a weird place because it was like, dude, first you were looking at my dick. Now you're taking my blood. Are you authorized to do this? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, I got training. You'd be like,
Trust me.
is it like a 12-hour course? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, just
Flicking
poke
the
me?
needle like
Yeah, they were like, dude,
okay.
we're fine. We're fine. The fuck is going? What am I doing?
It was nuts. It was nuts.
Oh,
Yeah, this
man.
took a turn last week. I had to bring it up because I knew you'd have good stories because you're in the
love it.
program.
Yeah, if you want to see Jay actually literally stand up and demonstrate the angle at which somebody
I'm telling
watches you
you.
take a piss test,
You
can
wish I'm
find that on the
joking.
last episode. By the way, people, if you haven't already, thank you for getting us to over 21,000 subscribers. 25,000 is our next goal on YouTube. Click that like button, the subscribe button, and also on the audio side on Spotify and Apple, if you can give us a 5-star rating and a positive review, it helps us grow the show here. And while we're plugging things, I've got the brand new O-line committee trucker hat on my head here. Reduced pricing on our new platform, and you can use the code TRENCHES at olinecommittee.com for 15% off the entire merch store. Trenches at checkout, 50% off. Spreads are for losers, pancake shirts, you name it.
Dude, shout out to my financial advisors, LPL, who bought shirts for everybody in the entire place. And then the last meeting we had, they all had them on. I was so excited, dude. I have never been so excited. Oh, they were like, by the way, these feel great. I was like, I had no idea you guys bought those. You should have told me. I would have totally just sent them some. They're like, no, we're all about growing the product. I was like, I fucking love you guys. They were.
Love it.
I love them to death. They are great. They're my ladies.
Thank you. Yeah, support. If you want to buy O-line committee merch for your entire office, olinecommittee.com, trenches is the code. This is from Jared Lerdahl here. Why don't the world's strongest men and giant wrestlers make good football players? You would think that their strength and size would convert over, like a sumo wrestler or these weightlifting strongman guys, right?
Why not? Right? Sure.
Why can't we just throw
I'll just go play
like Andre the
too.
Giant back in the day? Just throw
jumping
him
on skates and stick handling is fucking easy, right?
No, I mean here it's so much more than just brute strength.
Thank you.
Like, I watched the guy from Cuba yesterday in the Olympics that's won 5 Olympic golds as a Roman Greco wrestler, right? And that's
it's 41 years old.
He's 41 years old. Absolutely
awesome.
freak show, right?
Fucking badass.
And you can get to a certain level with just brute size and athleticism. But when you hit the NFL, you have to be so technically sound. And if you come in with zero technique because you've never done it before, you'll just never catch up, right? You'll just never catch up. It's too far advanced.
Dude,
right?
Brock Lesnar is the best example.
Yes.
Brock Lesnar, speaking of fights at training camp, 20 years ago, he decided, I'm done with UFC I'm done with wrestling, tried football, then then went UFC afterwards. But freak athlete, like world-class wrestler, 6 foot, whatever, 300 pounds of muscle, and all he did was just fight people at camp and never got the technique down first round.
Exactly.
And also it's because it's not just the technique; it's identifying.
You have to think.
If you think first of all, you're like, just throw them at D-line, right? Like you just throw them at D-line, they'll be fine. It's like, yeah, but if we're gonna go sideways and reach you really quickly, and you're running forward and you have no idea what's going on, you're dead, and I don't care how strong you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a combination of understanding what's happening around you at an absolutely ridiculous speed, right? I mean, from the jump, I remember going from high school to college, you were like, holy shit, so fast. And then you go from college to the NFL and you're just like warp speed. And if you've never had any kind of ramp up like that before, and your first taste of like legit football since maybe high school is the NFL, you'll never be able to catch up from a technique standpoint and X's and O's standpoint to where you're going to make a roster and do things, right? I'll be very curious to see what the wrestler who's with the Bills now,
Gable
right?
Stevens.
That D-line.
He trained with
very
us.
curious to see what he can do, but it's going to be a 2 to 3 year process before you can even understand like how to handle what it means to be an NFL defensive lineman. It just doesn't cross over.
Gable did have a nice get off, and like he understands the pass rush, but you're right, dude. Eventually in the run game or in like a nickel situation, we're going to be like, hey, this guy's a great pass rusher, but God, in the run game, he can't do shit. Let's just deuce the fuck out of him, right? Like these things don't translate over very well. Same thing with powerlifting. Those guys' cardio is not very good. Like I get that they can pick stones up and carry them 100 yards, but can you play for 3 hours at a ridiculous warp speed while thinking about a million fucking things running through your head? Oh, by the way, don't forget life is also happening at the same time. Like this is what's so hard about the NFL. And it's constantly what we tell people why they don't succeed is because you just can't get the X's and O's fast enough when it has to be instinctual. I shouldn't be taught a million times you have to step like this. It should be like, hey, Booney, when he puts his fucking hands on you, what do? I take him off, coach. Good. Don't ever let it happen again. Good. I won't. Like these are things that have to be translated super quick. We played with a guy in Frisco, Lawrence Okoye, who was actually an Olympian. I think he placed 8th in discus in the Olympics, and it was the same thing. He was 6'8", he was 315 pounds, and he had 2% body fat.
Yeah,
and he
I
was
played
a
against
defensive
him.
end.
I
And
played
we were all
against
like,
him in the preseason.
exactly. And we were all like, oh my God, on day one. But then on day two, we were like, oh, I'll go against him. Can I go against him? Can I go against him? Please, can I put him out here with us? Because he didn't understand that this is a fight while you're moving forward. And at the same time, oh, we just checked the play. So you're in the wrong fucking spot, Brody. And now I'm winning. Like, there's so much going on that has to happen. It's really just instinct, like these instincts that we've built our entire life to be like, hey, I'm too close to the quarterback, or I'm in the wrong position, or I should climb here, or I should get back, or whatever. You can't learn that in the NFL because everyone's like, dude, we don't have fucking time for this.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Moritz Boringer.
Dude,
Yeah,
they're
Mobo.
just like, you just don't understand.
German
what-
wide receiver, the German
Dude,
mega.
Here's the thing
clone.
too. If a coach has to tell you more than like 2 or 3 times to fix something, they're quick to be like, dude, I just don't have fucking time for this shit. Like, where is this guy not understanding? Go through him. And it's like, coach, he's a normal human. He's never had to run through someone before. He doesn't understand that it's not going to hurt. Like, in his mind, he's like, this is going to hurt me. I don't want to do it. Where we're like, numb the pain? Sure, I'll do it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the way we've been treated our whole lives. That's why I do kind of find it funny when these guys come from other countries and they're like the international program, and you're like, it's a way for them to see like, this is real football, dude. There is no bullshit out here. You have 0 time to develop. You must learn on the fly.
Another one of my clients, I was watching film with him the other day, and he was like, "Oh, he was like, this O-lineman, he's a German. I wish I was a German. I'd be able to stay in the league forever. He's terrible." And you just watch it, he's just like, "Brr," like, what's happening? Like, you're just like, they just have no idea what's going on. But everyone has one because he's a body and he's a free body, right? Like, it's a free body to keep an international player on the rosters. You're like, just go out there and stand in the way, I guess.
Just
Be a
take
part
some
of
reps.
W
Give a guy a water break. So you guys talk about like cardio too, which if you're a
never be
weightlifter or
replicated.
something,
Can never be replicated.
it's short, but it's like 70 short bursts in 3 hours.
It's
how
just-
do you guys train cardio during a season or off season? You're 300 plus pounds,
When-
but you also need to be,
When
cardio at peak level.
When I trained with Chuck, we used to pull semis and push semis, pull trucks, push trucks. We used to do it for hours at a time. And it was kind of like, you're going to go for about a good 30 seconds pushing this truck, and then you'll get a 30-second break, and then you're going to push it right back. So you'd always be paired with somebody, do a lot of sled pushes for hours. Like, the problem is you can never replicate running the field, right? Like, our training, we never really like to run. Chuck was kind of like, running's silly. We're not going to run. But when you get on the field, there is a little bit of running. Like, you got to run to the ball, and then you got to run back, and then you got to get in the huddle, then you got to think, right? And that's where I always kind of like, hear me. I took Anthony Davis and the way that he played, and I tried to emulate him a lot in the fact that he would get lost in the play. So he would never think about his breathing. He would just get lost in, what am I doing? And so like, his breath never came up. And I'd always ask him like, dude, you're never breathing hard. What the fuck? And he'd be like, dude, I'm thinking about the play. And I was like, oh, I'm going to distract myself. He's like, exactly. Or I'll be thinking about what's happening next or what I'm doing next. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's when I like submerged myself. And that's when you're like, you're not really thinking about it till after the game. And you're like, I am exhausted. Like, after the game, you're dead. You're not moving. You're like, I'm fucking going home and laying down. Like, people that go out and party. At one point we did that. And now I look back and I'm like, I don't know how we did that, because it's like, you're dead. And to emulate that, like, you'd always come back and be like, I got to get back in football shape. The first week of camp is strictly football shape. It's strictly
100%.
100 plays, get you going, right? Get you running. And at the same time, while you're running, there's not a lot of times in the offseason you can hit yourself. You can't just run into a wall every day. You'll break down too fast. So it's like, once you start getting that rhythm of hitting and then running, and then you're like, okay, this is different. Okay, my body's, now I'm getting used to the shock. Like, we used to have the 3-day warm up, and it was like, you could slowly get into shock. And then all of a sudden, first day of pads was goal line scrimmage to let you know we're fucking here. It's like, that whole thing can't be replicated. And a lot of times that's the hardest part, is you're getting your ass kicked and you're having to think and you're having to run. And then the coach is yelling at you, and then your teammates are yelling at you, and you're like, this can just never be replicated in the offseason. So you have to go through this badass training camp where shit is just fully exerted. And at the end of it, you're like, now I'm calloused and I'm fucking pissed and I'm ready to go. And I'm beat up a little bit, but I'm going to have to keep rolling. Like, you'll never not be beat up, which sucks.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, yes, all of that.
Long
and
answer.
I think that the technique stuff is, like, you spend years mastering technique, and it's like, you could flip the question around. Well, you guys are 300-pound freak athletes who have cardio and can run around. Why can't you step into an octagon after 5 months of training and beat somebody because they know like how to twist your arm and make you tap out, and you don't? Like,
Who was that DN that tried to go?
Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy.
Yeah, got in there, got his ass beat.
As he fucking should have.
Yeah. Nick Correa says, do players talk shit or complain about the cities and state that they live and play in?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you, dude. I was in Cali. You kidding me?
I mean, everyone like loved being in San Diego, right?
Yeah,
so
the
like
weather's great.
You'd
Cali
be like,
weather.
oh, dude, the weather. But it was always like, God, these taxes.
Paying for
Right?
weather.
Like,
yeah.
man, like these
You're paying for it.
taxes. Or like, I mean, if you're in Buffalo, I remember it's like, dude, Orchard Park, New York is not, it's not the move. Like, it's not where you want to be. It's nothing but a bunch of old people. Like, my wife hated it. She was like, there's nothing to do here. Right. And then all the players would be like, there's nowhere to go hang out afterwards. I guess we'll go to this bar that's like a converted house. Like, it was just weird. But like, yeah, players don't love where they're at all the time.
Green Bay is the classic. Like, the stadium is literally in a neighborhood,
Yeah.
a small
But I love
town
that.
neighborhood.
I love that. I think that's great. I just think
Yeah,
it's
but
such
you never
a-
had to live there.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, they never had to live in Cali, where you have no backyard, no front yard. Your neighbors are right on top of you, and you're paying 2/3 of your check to a fucking state that you're like, I am never going to live here again. Can I just have some of
And-
this back?
You have 1,200 square feet that costs $6,000 a month living
You don't
in.
want to know what's 12,000 square feet, 1,200 square feet cost, dude. I mean, it was ridiculous. The house, and that was days where you'd be like, this sucks, but I got a job, so what am I bitching about, right? And you'd go out in December and it was 65 and gorgeous. We'd ride our bikes to work. I'd be like, what are we bitching about? You go to fucking Del Mar. You could go up into Los Gatos. Like, you could go
At
into
least that, there was things to do in California.
so much fun
I will
stuff
say
to
when
do
we
up
made
there.
when we made the Super Bowl run in 2017, I can remember being in Minneapolis in January and being like, why would anyone want to live here? Right? Like, why? Like,
Shut
this
up,
is
Jay.
terrible. I get it. Trust me. I know what you're saying.
We both
But-
have opted into that life here. At
Yes,
this point.
but
Because of
also
this,
like
summers are
But
great.
like the
Yeah, dude.
summers are great, but I can just remember
Oh.
being like, dude, January, February, like the sun doesn't come up. Like, I remember walking out to my car and I slipped on the ice on my driveway and fell on my ass. And I was like, oh, so mad. And I got back up, took 2 more steps, fell again, and was just screaming at the sky
We need
at like
video of
5 in the morning on my way to practice, right? Just
There's
so pissed.
surveillance videos.
Just so pissed. And I was just like, why would anyone want to live here? Right? Like, just super mad. So, I mean, there's definitely, I think weather and taxes.
Sensitive.
Weather and taxes are probably the 2 biggest bitchers that people bitch about in the NFL.
But I will say, Minneapolis is a city. Like, after the game was super cool. San Francisco,
Loved going out.
When we were in Frisco, and we were actually downtown, that was one of the coolest fucking atmospheres because we would have some of the coolest people coming. At one point, the Hells Angels came in and started drinking. It was like out of control, and you were like, "This is fun." You'd go home into your tiny little apartment and be like, "This is not fun. Like, this sucks." But you got to deal with it sometimes, right? You're young, and that's what's so cool about the league too. And I don't think everybody understands is like sometimes you just have to be open to travel. You have to be open to do new things and try new experiences. The NFL is going to open you up and get you in the most uncomfortable positions, take you to cities that you should never think you belong in, but you just have to make the best of it. And as long as you look around and you're hanging out with good dudes, you're staying out of trouble, there's not a lot to bitch about in the NFL. I hate to tell you, they treat us really, really good everywhere we go. Fuck the weather.
Where did you live in the Bay Area? Because
So we lived in Santa Clara. And that's
Okay.
where our practice facility was, because that's why we would all ride our bikes to work, and it was super fun. We were like called the Santa Clara Assassins. We all had big rippers, and we'd blast our speakers while we were riding at like 6:30 in the morning, and it was super funny. And the security guards would laugh and shit. And then we'd all just go in and eat breakfast and be like, "Look at our life. We're just such idiots. We're like 16-year-olds going to high school, right?" And then the GM would come in and be like, "What are you fucking doing here? Why don't you go sit in a meeting?" And you'd be like, "Why don't you get a life, dickhead?" Like, God damn, fucking guy. But it was, dude. It's a lot.
Jay, did you get into the Buffalo wing lifestyle?
Oh,
when you
yeah.
played for the Bills.
You have to. Yeah, Barbell Tavern, honey butter barbecue wings with the homemade blue cheese.
Talk dirty.
We're going.
So
We're going to a Buffalo game. We're going.
I want to get a
wings.
client on Buffalo so bad, just to go back.
So
up there.
bad.
Just
if
to go
you
back
if
up
you
there.
play for the Bills, and I shouldn't solicit. I don't want to get you in trouble. But if you're an aspiring NFL player who
there you go.
would like to be drafted or premier UDFA, hey, let's go to this one here next. Let's go to David Bunda. I can understand that every lineman has a blocking assignment, or that they are supposed to maybe slide in a direction, and that could go awry. But what else blows up a play besides like the wrong blocking scheme? What are the things that could blow up an offensive play? Like there's missed blocking assignments, and we talk about those.
I think the number one thing is a miss ID to start the play.
Yeah,
Right. So, a miss ID, whether it's like, hey, center says we're going to go to this guy, and it's the wrong guy. And then everyone's going to the wrong guy. And then the play's like you leave one guy unblocked who's going to be standing there like, oh, that was the easiest TFL I ever had in my life. Right. The other one is if you get quick beat, like a quick beat. Right. And so you're going to get beat in the NFL, like as an offensive lineman. Like it's going to happen. Right. These dudes are too good. But what you can't have happen is the like immediately beat off the snap beat. Right. If you throw your hands and you lunge immediately on a jump set and you get swam and all of a sudden he's in the quarterback's face, like the play's dead. Right. Or if you're going to go like, hey, I got to cut this guy off and you completely throw a whiff. Right. And he just immediately crosses your face and goes and the play's dead. Right. Like it's okay to get beat late at times. It's not okay, but like it happens. But if you get a quick beat off the rip, like the play's dead before it even starts. Because then the running back has to make a jump cut and then it's the flow of the plays off. Everything's done for. Like those quick beats up front, whether it's a tight end or an offensive lineman, ruin a play very quickly.
Or like Jay said, the miss ID. That's another one that could just fuck the whole play up from jump. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, you can kind of tell. I think another one that probably some people, and you don't really see this a lot, is if somebody doesn't get the kill. And every now and then you'll see somebody run like a zone while everyone else is setting, and you're like, oh, somebody didn't get the kill.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
good.
The backside guard doesn't get the power check. And so like he doesn't
Is that
pull.
duo?
He doesn't pull, and then the Mike's standing in the hole staring into the eyes of the running back. Yeah, that's a bad time.
What
too.
about like on the receiver end? Here's a dumb question for you. When they talk about like choice routes or like you have to ID something as a receiver as the ball's being snapped, and the quarterback and the receiver or tight end have to be on the same page about we both saw that and that means the route is this. How often does that get misinterpreted between quarterback and receiver? And now
I don't have a great answer for that.
Neither
I think majority of the time though is like if they're not on the same page, he's just getting to the next read, so it doesn't blow up the play.
Right.
Correct.
Right. I mean, the other one that'll blow up a play quickly is if we're in like an empty protection and it's a hot read, and the receiver, the tight end, doesn't turn to get the hot, and the quarterback's like, and pump fakes, like, oh my God, he's not there.
Yeah.
Plastered, pick his
It's bad.
teeth up. Like, that's another one that's really bad. If all of a sudden you come to the sideline and be like, I think they brought 6 on that one. They're like, yeah, tight end didn't turn around for the hot route. And you're like, oh, well, that play was over before it began.
Yeah, no chance. That or running the wrong route. I've seen that happen a few times where people are like, quarterback come back and be like, well, we ran the wrong route. God damn it, dude.
Zigged when he was supposed to zag.
What the fuck? It's all good.
Idiot.
Yeah, you
Those are your dumb football questions for the week here, O-line committee. Great stuff here, boys. Booney, you're going to
Hey,
feel like a new
if I don't
man.
make it, is the show
You're
going
gonna
on?
make it.
Is
Of
the
course.
show
The
going to
show always goes on.
Are you going to find a third? Don't.
Move it up 10.
No, we've actually
Move
spent
it up
the last
10.
Move it up.
Yeah.
Move it up 10, boys. Your buddy's dying behind you. Move it up 10. We're going to keep practice going.
Hey, just don't fill this spot with anybody, okay? Don't fill this spot.
We'll just leave it. We'll leave the empty chair.
Do it. Leave the empty chair. I love you guys, man.
Stop it. We'll see you next week.
Love you
Love
too,
you
man.
guys.